Your soul's unshaken. I'm Jonah. That's my mother.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mama Z. Welcome to Kitchen Table.
Welcome to the kitchen table. I wanted to... We'll get into what that date is later, but we've got a kind of heavy date coming up this week. So I wanted to make this conversation about safety, about what do we do when we feel unsafe? Where do we go? What do we take comfort in? Now, for a lot of people, a therapist is an amazing place to start. But when I was young, when I was young is a lie, I've always had, including now, a bit of difficulty being well and truly authentic. I'm very good at masking, it's called. And I've always accidentally put up a performance of being okay, even in a therapist's office, which isn't exactly productive, is it?
No. So what you're saying that is that even in a place that's supposed to be safe for you?
I haven't always managed to make it a safe space.
On reflection, I think that's true for me too. I'm trying to look back. If I was 100% honest with my therapist during the time of grief, I think I talked about a whole lot of things, but maybe I held some things. And in fact, when I was able to talk about everything, I would cry a lot. And so for me not to be able to, for me to stop
you don't
myself.
Really like to cry,
no,
you know?
For me to stop myself from crying, I will withhold a whole lot of information. And she finally figured it out that when I was able to say the real truth of what was going on, I will just fall apart. And I would say out loud, I do not like the feeling of falling apart. But that's the safe space.
That's a safe
If you are
space.
allowed to fall apart in any place, that would be a safe space.
You got to find someone or something that helps put you back together.
Right.
Whenever you fall apart.
So what is a safe space?
Well, sometimes it's a figure. For some people, that's God, that's Jesus. For some people, that's Uncle Iroh or Superman. Whatever works.
Or a pet.
Or a pet. It can be your parents. It can be memories. It can be anything, really. When I was a kid, because I didn't really allow myself to have that safe space in a therapist's office, though really therapy is a wonderful thing and everyone should at least try it. But because I wouldn't allow myself to do that unintentionally, my safe spaces became TV shows, video games. I was always very fond of Steven Universe growing up.
Oh, I remember,
You remember.
Steven Universe.
It was my favorite.
Yeah.
But that was just one half of it. My other safe space, as with most children, was sleep. It's a natural response of the human body, but most especially in children. When they experience terror, when they experience sorrow, when they experience any number of things they just can't process yet, they sleep.
I was going to ask why do we need or when do we need a safe space or whatever that is?
It can be a big traumatic event happens. It doesn't have to be. It can be the tiniest thing just irritated you today at work, but you've stacked it up on top of like a million other things that have happened over the last year or so, and you just break.
Right.
And really, there's nothing too big or too small to warrant needing that safe space. In therapy, I learned how to bring a safe space with me wherever I go through breathing techniques and mental imagery. I managed to find a way to associate certain actions with calm and to associate calm with, I suppose you could call it a mind palace that I can retreat to.
That's cool.
For me, I always imagined a single tree on a grassy hilltop, wind everywhere, rolling the grass as far as you can see. Big old blue sky and these beautiful giant white clouds.
Wildflowers.
And wildflowers.
Maybe laundry.
And laundry. A little pond
It sounds
nearby.
like a Ghibli movie.
But that's always what I picture when I conjure up that it was called a sacred space. And it's always, I will confess, rarely has it fixed whatever I was feeling, but it's always helped.
At the moment. Yeah. Do you have a safe space now?
A physical safe space, always been my bedroom. It's been a place that's sacred to me. I mean, ever since I was small, it's the place I spent most of my time.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why I'm very thankful to you for giving me the larger room between the two of us, because you knew I'd spend more time there and keep more stuff
You
there.
live in your bedroom.
I do. It's a really important place to me.
So that's a lucky thing that you have that space at home. But I wonder if you can go back to the time you're at school. Think about, let's say middle school.
Middle school.
And because I'm choosing that particular time because I think that was a little difficult. And think about those moments where things were harder, whether it's because of the classwork or it's bullying or, being excluded, all of these things. What would have been a safe space at that moment? I'm going to talk to the young people who are listening right now who would maybe are going through that. They could be in high school, they could be, but they go through that. What would be a safe space in a place where you don't have a home for your bedroom?
Man, first of all, middle school really sucked for me.
Yeah.
I'm still very appreciative of the school itself and of the teachers who worked there. But that was a time of, not a single thing I ever did was right.
Yeah.
I was severely behind in every possible category of schoolwork. In the early days, because I just couldn't do it. In the later days, with the exclusion of math, which I still just couldn't do, I just didn't really care anymore. And I couldn't really seem to none but maybe 3 of the people I thought were my friends thought I was their friend. And it's not like I really blame them. Sometimes nobody has to be anyone else's friend. Sometimes you just don't want to get along with someone, and that's genuinely okay sometimes. But man, at the time I took it personally.
It was hard.
It was hard. Those were strangely dark days.
How did you make out through every day of that?
There were no classes I enjoyed because I was bad at all of them. So I couldn't really take pride in any of that. Though I know there's some academic subjects people really love, and that's a safe space for them. Like I said, I didn't really have many friends. Of everyone there, I can count 3 who really did care about me. I'm thankful to all 3 of them. And like we said, therapy wasn't working for me, not because it just didn't work, but because I wouldn't allow it to work, unintentionally. Like I said, I got a little bit too good at masking. So my safe space, I'm not so certain it existed. Not concretely. My safe space at that time was my imagination. Sitting in the back of the class, zoning out. It wasn't healthy necessarily, but having my head in the clouds most of the time is what kept me feeling safe and okay.
Not rejected or...
Not rejected. I mean, whose own imagination rejects them?
That's so hard to hear as a mom, because we want to fix everything for our kids. Well, at least most of us try. And sometimes we can't do nothing about it. And that hurts because I see you hurting and I can't help you.
At that time, I remember even I was at odds with you and Dad pretty often. I would think, I can't do anything right, so why try? And I would act out sometimes. Sometimes getting yelled at for doing something bad felt better than having to tell people I really did try my hardest, and my hardest just wasn't enough. So that was a time in my life where I notably lacked a safe space.
That is when kids and people in general
That's when
end up in a very dark space.
a dangerous
But
space.
you came out for somehow you were able to
I did.
survive it and come out without a safe space. Now you can look back and say, I don't know how I made it out. But then what would you suggest or advise even for someone who's going through that? It doesn't matter whether they're young or old, but they're in a place where they cannot find, they're looking around, they just cannot find, whether it's within the home, the family, the friends, the workspace. What would you say to them?
Though it is important to recognize the weight of your situation, not to diminish it or write it off, it really, truly is never as bad as it seems in the moment.
Except for you're inside it.
But I recognized during that time, not after, during that time, that I was also reasonably privileged. I lived in a pretty well-to-do neighborhood, pretty safe. I had food to eat. I had a roof over my head at all times. I had things to entertain me. I had video games, though. I could only do that for a small amount of time each week, which I will say really didn't help. But I had TV. That was a decent stand-in, though not as engaging or productive or anything else as the games were. But I don't really know quite how I pushed through. I just knew that I had to. So I did.
I'm glad you did.
I saw it as there was just no other option. What else am I going to do? May as well keep going.
My older sister always said to me that, remember what had happened to you that was horrible or hard, difficult in the past is in the past, but it was in your path for a reason. You had to learn something. And for you to be able to come out of it and look back, you can no longer be hurt by it or discouraged by it, but you got to pat yourself on the back and say, I came out.
I will be honest, I didn't learn anything at all from that. There was nothing to take away because I didn't do anything to get out of it. I just held on.
But even that holding on is strength that you might not see as, because some people couldn't or can't.
Even not being able to hold on, that's not weakness, though.
That's not weakness. It's just because they got defeated.
That's not weakness at all.
And so there was something about, we always see that, it might be dark now. Even in the Bible, there's some scripture about that. It might be dark now, but there's always light in the morning. And the night, in the deepest night, that's when you're really going through it and you can't see a way out. I mean, I've had, countless moments of that. Some recently, some way back, even from when I was a child. You say you were bullied, Dad and I were bullied.
You much worse than me.
But we're not the same. And so I will not minimize your pain and your suffering at that time. And I never really thought there was a safe space. But I now look back and think there was a safe space for me. You had a bedroom to run to and video games. Still do. For me, I must say around 10 to 12, I would run up and climb up the highest tree. And I will sit there and watch the world pass by under me until I fall asleep sometime. That was my safest space because the trees will feel like a hug, And as I grew, of course, I couldn't climb no trees no more because I had to go somewhere else. I think there were moments where I didn't have a safe space as well, or even knew what that meant. If you're talking about not even trying anymore when you're always getting into trouble, granted, most of the time, I did that. I was quite a rebellious child, but for that, the strength of it, now that I look back and say, you know what, I stood my ground for things that I thought were unfair. Of course, where I come from, a child is not supposed to say something. You're supposed to be unseen and sit down and shut your mouth.
Having opinions as a kid wasn't in your culture.
No, you get a backhand quick. And so for me, backhand is unacceptable. So I'll jump out as fast as I could. And I was skinny too, so I could run. Jump out as fast as I could. I'll stand outside and watch and smile and laugh about it. So that was even worse. Like, what? You didn't get to hit her, but she's laughing at you, mocking you. But I knew how to stay outside on my trees until everybody's forgotten about the idea that they were mad at me, and then I'll roll back in. And so that became a game. It's like you say, you forget, you stop trying. It's like I knew all the time that no matter what I did, it's never going to be correct. Sometimes I was shocked when I got a compliment. It's like, are you talking to me? Because all I used to get is to be in trouble. But that was the time I was young. And now I look back and I'm grateful that you were not as bad as I was. And Dad also said the same thing. You were quite a good kid. And
you were both
I'm
rebellious
grateful.
kids.
I'm very grateful because there was something called payback time. I expected you to be the craziest child, and you were not. You're the most sweetest thing. And, of course, stubborn as ever, which came from us.
I was stubborn, which got me into trouble plenty, but I never wanted to hurt anyone as a kid.
No. I was happy to say something that my mouth will say that, So
Would be hurtful.
yeah, it would be hurtful. And because I felt like, yeah, you're a grown up, but you don't have a right to make me feel oppressed.
You've always been a freedom fighter.
Fighting for my own personal freedom, no judgment from the adults and growing up. And there was this things like, this little thing is so ungrateful, And I'm like, You know, that's my attitude. It's like, well, if you don't want to do something for me, don't tell me about it. You do something because you want to do something. Like you buy me clothes, you send me to school, and all of these things. I'm not gonna gravel because you did that. That's just not
what you're supposed to do.
I know, and that's what I would say, right? But that would piss people off because how dare you say that you're supposed to be grateful? I understand they were right, but at the time, I just felt like you have a choice. You can choose to just chuck me out. I'll figure it out. Because I felt so strong that I can survive anything. It's almost like if I survive you, I can survive anything, right? But I don't know if that was true. It's just at the time I was so strong and stable in my head, thinking I can do anything. I can get, I feel like that stubbornness and that rebellious strength I had, not so good at home, but at the same time, it has kept me going. Maybe that was my safe space. The fact that I can stand up for myself. Yeah, rebellion was my safe space because if I didn't say nothing.
Wait, can you say that again? That's beautiful.
Rebellion was my safe space. I know that's contradictory to what you're supposed to be finding a safe space for, but it feels to me that because I could fight for myself, right? Physically, when I got to school, eventually got tired of the bullies because I used to come home with black eyes. So finally I learned how to fight, But even to the adults who abused, oppressed, rebellious spirit seemed to keep me going because you couldn't crush me. There was a time, I think, when you were young, you said something about your words can't hurt me. You weren't talking to me, but it's like you were upset about something. Your words can't hurt me. I was like, what was that? This little skinny thing is like maybe 5 years old. What is it talking about? Your words can't hurt me with a straight face. But I thought I had that.
I did have that rebellious streak in me.
I totally had that. I was like, he's right though. He's right. No matter what you decided at that moment was, no matter what they say, you can't hurt me. I'm choosing. There was a choice. So it sounds like at some point, as we continue to grow, as we learn or even grow spiritually, emotionally, all of these things, mentally, you can now start to say to the bullies or anybody who want to harm you with their words or actions, you can choose to say, I'm
taking away the power from this.
I'm taking away the power from you. And like Jesus says, give them the second cheek. So are you serious? Give them the second cheek. But that's giving the second cheek without giving them power.
Exactly.
Is to say, you can't hurt me. You can say whatever. You will not break me. You will not.
Exactly.
That's what that was. And I started to learn that. And I thought, instead of wanting to fight and get angry and
explode.
Explode. Maybe it's to just be firm and say, even when it gets to you, to say,
even when it does hurt you,
I will not accept that. And I will not allow it to take over my power. I'm going to walk away. But because I had this thing that you can't just you got to say something that hits them back, So I'm searching for words very quick. You word puzzles in my head, looking for the right word. One word that would just go and stagger you back. But as I grow, I stopped doing that. Because what's the point? Head for head, harm for harm.
And then nobody comes out of that.
No. But
eye for an eye, the whole world goes blind.
Yeah. So to grow is to find a safe space. And that, I'm learning that words also can be a safe space. Did we ever have as a family safe words? I feel like we had. I don't remember what they were.
I don't remember. I was going to say for a while when I was younger, a phrase became my safe space. Leave me alone.
I remember you said that when you visited South Africa and all the little cousins were bothering you, you learned to say it in Zulu. It was so funny because you wouldn't speak Zulu, but that particular time, all the kids stopped when you said that particular something like that, like leave me alone in Zulu. It's like, and they stopped.
It was my mantra for a while.
Yeah, because they wouldn't stop bothering you.
If I was being nagged or just if I was being judged for something I didn't want to be judged for, leave me alone. It's a word I would retreat to.
That's good.
But as a family, I don't know that we ever had something like that. I sure don't remember it.
I don't know. My head feels like there was a word, but I know that between your dad and I, when I had to teach him, when you get angry, don't speak when you're too angry, because you will say words that you regret. And no matter how much you apologize, if they hurt someone, you cannot take them away. So he learned that and also said that back to me. So what will be is that when he's upset about something, we're fighting maybe, and he would want to talk, he wants to say more, and I'm like retreating back because I don't want to say stuff, avoiding to end up, saying something I'll regret. But that sometimes is hard because maybe I did not react for the 5 times, and now you're doing something so small. At the 6th time.
Because for you, you tally it up.
Oh.
You put it all together.
Yeah, so now at 6th time, I'm like, what? So I'm mad from the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're like, but that has nothing to do with now. Because for me and Dad,
it was just the one individual thing every time.
Yeah, for me, it's like.
But for you, you looked at it as the collective.
Yeah, exactly. So then I'm blown. So for me, the safe space when that is about to happen is to walk away. And it's a safe space for me not to hurt someone, but also for me not to be hurt. Right? Because if this fight is now many words later, it's going to be longer than it was supposed to be. Because now you're going to heal your heart and all of these things. And so for me, at a moment of stress, whether it's in home or outside, it happens outside sometimes. You're driving and you say all the words, right? And the safe space is keep driving.
Just leave it alone.
Leave it alone. And that's hard. That's really hard. But that's what you're finding, that the safe space can be many things.
It's anything you have to do or anywhere you have to be to keep yourself and even others safe. And the safe space isn't always literally a space like we've established.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't necessarily always something that brings you comfort. But it's something that keeps you steady, keeps you safe.
And keep your peace.
Keeps you peaceful.
Keep you peaceful. Keep you peaceful. All right, let's move on from the middle school age for both of us. Have you ever thought about what had happened and felt the actual pain as if it was happening just now? Like, is there an area of your life between the time you were small to the time you were in high school that any thought or memory that comes out of that still gives you that pain? I mean, is there a part of you that's still injured with all of those things?
Just about every other week I'll have. That is not true at all. Just about every night. I am a lying liar. Almost every night I'll have a memory of something embarrassing or foolish I did that comes back. And I just want to go, why?
But does it hurt, or is there a memory that hurts?
It does tug at my heart a little bit, but
how do you get out of it?
It doesn't necessarily hurt quite so bad. That said, memories that hurt. Well, my dad dying.
Yeah, that's grief.
But it's all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And even beyond that, you know I love you dearly, yes?
Yes.
You and Dad, I love you both very much. I'm thankful to have had you as my parents.
We had you.
It's always the parents. You and Dad were quite harsh when I was younger. You've long since learned how to temper yourselves, how to control it. But when I was young, you could be very harsh. in response to even simple mistakes, let alone actually acting out and doing something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And kids absorb that stuff, man.
I'm so sorry.
It was always, that's a part of how I got to thinking at some point I couldn't do anything right. Because sometimes you'd be really frustrated at something genuinely stupid that I did. Something, if I'd put a little more thought into it, it would have been fine. But it just slipped me. And sometimes you would just explode because you've seen it happen like 5 other times this week.
Mm.
And it would stick with me. Sometimes Dad used to insist, and I always hated it. Dad used to insist that the reason I was getting this wrong over and over and over was because I didn't care about it. I cared a whole lot about it.
Mm.
I just couldn't do it. ADHD is a hell of a thing. And that always really hurt because I genuinely didn't know what was wrong with me.
Mm.
And so I thought, maybe I don't care. But then if I don't know how to. Because I really am trying. And if that's not caring, I'm not sure how to do it.
Mm.
And I don't really blame either of you for it. It's one of the inevitabilities of life, especially when you become a parent, is messing up your kid just a little bit, unintentionally. Even with the best of intentions, you know? It's just how it goes.
Oof.
That's tough for you to hear, I know.
That's hard.
Some of that stuff I'm still learning to shake it off. I'm still learning that wasn't true. It was just a person, a real, messy person saying something they didn't mean in that moment. And not realizing expecting me to understand it was just a moment.
Mm.
But as a kid, you don't really have that yet.
Right.
Now that I'm grown, I would have been able to brush that off. Like, all right.
Oof. Yeah, that's hard. But thank you for being honest.
It was a little hard to do.
And I hope that you're able to say that, it helps you heal as well.
It does.
And I can't sit here and say, make excuses for it. I can only say, me and your dad, we're also messed up kids.
I know.
And I knew in my heart I wanted to be the best mom that ever was.
In many ways, you are.
But I didn't know how to be gentle and kind at the moment when you needed it most.
There's a phrase that I really love that ironically comes from one of the friends of the longest standing voice actor for Optimus Prime, a robot. You see, the voice actor, before he went in for his audition, was thinking, all right, how am I going to do this part? Well, he's this big, giant, powerful machine, and he's a hero. So he thinks, I'll go in and I'll be like, I am Optimus Prime. And his friend hears it, and he goes, no, what are you doing? And his friend's a longtime fan of the series. And he goes, no, you can't do it like that. You got to be strong enough to be gentle. To be gentle, to be kind, that takes all kinds of strength.
Right. And I think that I got better at being a
You
parent
really did.
to you, but I didn't know how to do it before. I had an idea in my head, but I didn't know how to be always understanding, kind, and patient.
There's no guidebook for that stuff.
And we can always make a mistake. We can always make an excuse as a parent, like, oh, I was just whatever that was, right? But the thing is, there is a wound in you because of our rough handling of you being slow about everything. And knowing that you are super smart, why are
They
you
just take a while.
Yeah, why are you so slow in doing things? But yet we had to understand that your pace was different. And
Always has
we
been.
wanted you to be different. We wanted you to be fast. We wanted you to, all of these other things. Your dad wanted you to, to rush around with him and
He
fixing
wanted me to be
things.
fast and precise
Yeah.
and sharp and all those things that he'd learned to be.
Yeah. But you were you, just like you said to your dad, Dad, I'm me and you are you when you were 5 years old. Maybe 4, you said that. And you were teaching us that you are you. We shouldn't,
I can't be either.
yeah, we shouldn't apply a standard of what it is around us, especially when you go to New York where everything was faster. And to try and get you to be faster than who you are was to make you someone else, but not you. It was a moment when I said to Dad, we have to love the son we have, not the son we want to have.
I love that.
And there was something that I was learning as well, that I cannot look around other kids and expect you to be like them. You're not gonna,
The comparing was
Yeah.
always the worst.
you're not gonna run around and go. In a way, I was glad you were not a sports kid because I didn't want to be like every day from school. We finished late. There's meetings at school. That school was always having
I
meetings.
always hated that too.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Mustard seed. Oh my God. Every day seemed like an hour meeting or two every day. There's something. And then to imagine that I have to take you to a sport until we come home at 6 or whatever, and then you still have to do homework, that was too much.
I had no
And
interest
so
in
I
any
was
of
kind
that.
of glad that you were not that child. But at the same time, I had to understand also why you were not that child. Is that you were good at who you are and being who you are instead of wanting to create something different, right? And I think we put ourselves under pressure because we are comparing ourselves. We're looking around and we're using the standard that was set by the society or the culture, whatever it was, and we're trying to match in ourselves into this box, and we are not fitting in a puzzle. And then we are miserable.
Yeah, that part's always been the hardest for me. The things that I'm good at, the things that I really have any kind of talent in, are all abstract things. They're not really measurable. And obviously that doesn't really mesh well with a society that wants everything to be measurable. It didn't reflect in any of my grades because why would it?
Right.
It just wasn't anything that could be reflected by an assignment. I couldn't write essays beautifully. Well, I could, but
I was going to say that's a lot.
even then, not within the guidelines that I was usually expected to. I could write beautifully, but I could only
an
check like
excellent
maybe
writer.
2 of the 7 boxes we were meant to fit.
Your grandma would be appalled. He's a son, he's a writer,
It's not
grandma.
really writing so much as storytelling.
Your dad was a great storyteller. So you really do have that. You do have that. So anyway, I want to apologize on behalf of myself, a young mother, and not so young. I was middle-aged, but still don't know.
A new mother.
New mother. Didn't quite know how to handle a stubborn child, as stubborn as I was, also slow in movement, in action. And when things had to be fast, we had to go. And apologize on behalf of your dad as well for being harsh on moments where we were harsh unnecessarily.
Oh man, he could be the worst when he got angry.
And I
It
think
took him quite a bit to get angry, though.
we both had those moments. And so I'm sorry that we wounded you like that. And I'm sorry that you still have those scars that are slowly healing. And I pray that at some moment you look at us and say we are flawed human beings. We were clueless, and now we know better. We understand. I know better now. And I think I'll make a best grandmother than I was your mother. At least, hopefully, you'll give me that chance.
I already forgave you.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I hurt your little heart.
It was an easy heart to hurt, I will admit.
Still, that's the ones we have to care for most.
It's true.
Yeah. And I didn't at the time.
Not yet, but now you do.
Thank you. I pray that God forgive me and your dad for having a little boy who needed most caring, most understanding, most patient.
I wasn't always the best kid either, though. I've got plenty to apologize for.
I'm good. I shook it.
I like that.
So for me, it's hard to talk about the areas that still hurt because some people, bruised me when I was young.
People who have yet to even apologize for it.
And I don't think they ever will. Because it's a culture that doesn't think that.
That's a whole other thing,
Yeah.
having to forgive someone who isn't sorry.
But that's what we have to do with forgiving them for us. So we're not walking around carrying wounds of the wounded child. And wounded child that is caused by either abuse, careless words, even sometimes family members and friends, being orphaned in a sense of you never knew your father like me. I grew up without a father. Or maybe divorced parents, or all of these things that hurt you. And you, as a child, you think, maybe my life would have been better if mom and dad was here, or maybe that's not true, but you believe that, and you're walking around with this orphan spirit, right? And that carries you so much that you lack trust sometimes because you never had that trust of someone who's there for you all the time. And then in your life, you walk around like you got to protect yourself, overprotect yourself. And sometimes you lose opportunities where you would have made a friend or, gained something by associating. But you don't trust because you have this orphan spirit of being abandoned, of being left behind, or of being hurt because you didn't belong. All of these things. I think most of us do have that. We don't even think we do. Because at that moment, I don't know if God would have been my safe space 100% because
It wasn't mine yet.
I didn't know how to. Having said that, I'm going to go back and say, I look back and see that God has been there all the time.
I agree.
I look back and see how he's always come through all the time. But I didn't know that at that moment.
You and I were both raised in the religions we are in. So we didn't necessarily start out believing because we believed. We believed because we were told to believe. It only came later in life that we truly took to it on our own.
And it got better for me, I'd say.
Me too.
Because at that moment, I wasn't just going there. I was really engaging God. When I learned that God can actually answer your prayer, like you see it tangible, that was a game changer. I was like, whoa, this is so cool. He literally it just happened to you the other day. I think you talked about, you asked for something and you wrote a letter to God and then you left out something, and then you said it out loud privately.
Exactly.
You want to share that?
I wrote rather a list of things that I wanted to pray for. And our most dearly beloved auntie took that list, brought it to some priests, and they prayed over it on my behalf. And among the many things on that list was, I'd like to take up a martial art. And then in parentheses, maybe Kung Fu. But after I wrote that list, I was thinking, actually, I've always had an interest in boxing. But whatever, maybe Kung Fu is fine. I already asked for it. So we get to Portugal however many months later. It must have been about 3 months. Like the second week of us being here at all, I make an acquaintance. And a couple weeks later, that acquaintance invites me to his boxing class. And I think, well, would you look at that? Here I was thinking, well, I already asked for Kung Fu, so I'll just stick with it, even though I think what I'd really like is boxing. And then God gave me boxing.
Did that raise your faith a little bit?
Of course it did.
Yeah.
But also it was funny, like, all right. I see you. Thank you. I get it now.
Yeah. So into going towards the wrapping up our kitchen conversation.
Sure.
Obviously today we wanted to talk about, is there a safe space or word or action or a person even that we have or can have when we're feeling unsettled or upset or hurt, whatever the reason is. Or also the second part of that is that if there was any area of our past, even present, where the memory still grieves us today, besides, losing a loved one, because that's a major, it needs its own topic, conversation. But how difficult it was for you to even share that with me, because that almost made me cry.
Yeah, I've been holding on to that one for a while, I admit. Even if I did already forgive you and Dad, it's a whole other thing to actually be able to say it out loud. I'm very thankful you gave me that opportunity.
I'm thankful that you were able to share that. Obviously, you shared it in front of the whole crowd. But
that's what we're doing.
I'm grateful because that also shows that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be emotional. It's okay to actually feel at the present moment when you're feeling something, to be able to share that. And I'm going to say that I'm glad that our family do not appear to be a perfect model of, like,
nobody's is.
No drama, whatever, right? We are a complete opposite of complete mess. And that's okay.
It's okay.
Because it's real. It's real. We are human beings. We make mistakes. And I hope that I become a better, like I said, if I were to become a mother again, I'll try and be a better mom, but I'm too old for that. So I'll be a best grandma, if anything. And hopefully you would give me that opportunity, like I said already.
Always.
No rush. It's okay. But I will do my best to be better. And also just for my own self, as I reflect, to look back and understand sometimes efficiency is not as important as kindness. Sometimes to be efficient or to appear professional, I'll put it that way, because for me it was a workspace most of the time. You and I went to the same school when I was a teacher and you were a student. Sometimes it was really hard because when the teachers come to me, that's because they've tried with you and it didn't work. Maybe you didn't do the homework and all of that, so they come to me And what am I supposed to do? Right? And so those are dynamics that you and I had to deal with, but maybe I didn't know how to
Neither did I.
stop myself. Take a deep breath and think about it. What's the cause behind the behavior, right? Instead, I will just be reactive about it because there's no time to think. You got to go back to your work and so forth. So, but I'm realizing now today that I had a choice if I stopped for a second to breathe and think, maybe I would have done a better job. But it is in the past. I can't change it. I can only accept that I messed up and hope that...
It's okay sometimes to be wrong.
And hope that I'm a better person as a mom today to you, and also a friend and a partner. And so for anybody who's having the same dynamic with your family members, your friends at work, whatever the situation is, if you can, take a deep breath during the time of the situation, step back, walk away, take a walk, drink water, something, go to the bathroom. And that gives you a moment of thinking so that you don't react in a way that you will regret. Or you yourself will feel bad. Sometimes it's not a regret, but it's a fact that you felt the pain of the other. For me, I do, because if you are sensitive, you felt the pain of the other. And that's hard, because now it's like, ugh, that feeling I don't like. But you're feeling it real because you just affected someone else with that negative comment, whatever it was. And so take a step back, take a moment, take a deep breath, and then come back to it. And when you do come back, sometimes you become a better person. Sometimes you can separate yourself from the situation and be able to just be neutral, in a sense. And that way you become a better person or a better friend. I don't know. You have something to say?
With kids, with kids especially, for parents or teachers or whatever else, it's important to remember what could just be a Tuesday night for you that you'll forget in about a week. They're going to hang on to that for the rest of their entire lives.
Yeah.
It's an important thing to know how to be someone else's safe space too. And especially recently, you've done a really excellent job of that, Mom.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask one last thing. At the week of recording this, I believe Friday will be the 3rd year since Dad died. Have you found a safe space to process and to mourn and to heal in a place that's comfortable, in a place that you're okay with?
I'm struggling with that one.
Me too. I've got my methods I've always had, but feels like a big one, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm struggling this week, to be honest. I'm finding myself having tears now and then, and
Me too.
it's gonna be 3 years since he passed. It's supposed to be easier, and I'm gonna say it is, because I have been trying to have his memories be comforting rather than sad. But the fact that he isn't is the hardest part to keep looking back to.
Yeah.
It's a reality of what it is. And there's many, many moments where I wish, simply because of things that I'm seeing or experiencing or doing. I wish, if Dad, So having said that, I have become this strong, can do everything woman, and I'm so glad And I'm
It's
grateful.
not weakness to not be that, of course.
I am grateful that
But you've certainly gotten tougher.
Yeah, I am grateful. I am grateful that Dad, his life was shortened, but there's so much I learned from him. And right now I'm using every skill, every lesson I got from him, everything I saw him do, I'm able to tap into that, and it's carrying me strong. At the same time, my heart is tender because I do miss him. It
That's
is
not
lonely.
weakness.
It is lonely. And
It's strength to let yourself cry.
sometimes I'm like, oof, I wish you were here with me. And sometimes it feels like, oh, how long? And I don't know what that means. Sometimes I just want to be on vacation. I don't know if that will solve everything, but
Nah.
yeah, this week is difficult. This week is difficult. And I know that it is for you too.
Just this would have been Monday. Monday morning, I saw this really beautiful edit of Super Mario. And for me and him, Nintendo was like our thing. Before it got all greedy, of course. But Mario was the first video game I ever played, Super Mario Galaxy. And Mario in general was the first experience I ever shared with a person. And that was with Dad. So I saw this really awesome, really beautifully made edit about Super Mario on Monday. And I went, man, what I would do to show this to him right now. To be able to pick up my phone, walk into the next room, say, hey, Dad, look at this. What I would do, you don't even know.
I know that.
Actually, you know, but you don't know.
I know that he's listening to us now because, like we said over and over, they do change form, their energy. So
nobody's ever really gone.
Yeah, nobody's ever really gone. So, Dad, we just want to shout out to you and say we miss you so much dearly. And thank you for always watching over us. We know that's true.
In life, you were our safe space, Dad.
Yeah.
And even in passing, you still are.
Amen to that. Even in passing, you still are. We know that you are watching over us, you're protecting us, you are praying for us. Thank you for that.
I know you saw that edit. I just wish I could show it to you in person, that's all.
Yes. So, equally, if anybody's going through that too, grief or lost somebody or something that is meaningful to you, could be a pet. That was your safe space.
It could even be a version of yourself.
Yeah, true. So we want to say to you, we see you, we hear you, we understand what you're going through. We are here with you, and we're going to pray for you.
And we're going to pray for you.
And for God to carry you during these hard times. And know that there's always the morning. Joy comes in the morning. That's what the Bible says. Joy comes in the morning. It seems like dark. It seems like midnight. It seems like long. But trust us, we've been there. We're going through it. Joy comes in the morning.
It doesn't matter how dark things are. It doesn't even matter if you want to stay and sit in that darkness for a while. If you're not ready to heal, you're going to heal. Even if you're not ready for the day, it can't always be night.
That's right. You have a scripture?
Yes, I do. Whew, we've gone over time a bit.
Yes, we did.
So let's keep this one short. Psalm 4, verse 8. In peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety.
Amen.
Amen.
That's how we're going to leave you tonight. God be with you. God carries you. Find a safe space. If God is, then is. If not, find someone else. Even just being outside at the beach or somewhere in nature.
Anything that makes you happy.
Yeah, there should be. God, carry everyone who needs caring right now. Give them every safe space. anything that is safe for them. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Thank you for being with me tonight.
Thank you for being with me tonight. And thanks to you
Take
for
care.
joining us at the kitchen table.
Till next time.
Stay safe.